Hello friends, I am Ronak and I want to share my experience with XLR. So I was enrolled in XLR for a software testing course, and I have to say right from the start of the course we were provided with the best service. I feel the quality of teaching in the course is the best, with live lectures every day, separate doubt sessions and also recorded sessions if you have missed the sessions or you just want to revise. Throughout the course, we learned manual testing, Java, SQL, Selenium, and TestNG framework. After the learning part was completed, interview preparation sessions were also conducted. So, proper guidance was given by the faculty, assignments were given to be completed, and group projects were taken, as well as we had to make individual projects, which proved to be very beneficial for us in sharpening our skills as well. So mock interviews were also held to make sure we get good placements. Finally, I got placed in many companies. So as my personal experience, it's the best institute to join if your dream is to get a job in IT and make a good career in IT. So just go for it.
Hi, I'm Sai Akhil and I'm working as a process consultant and data analyst in Siemens Technologies Private Limited. After joining XLR on my first day to the classroom, so I went there, I was really nervous because I'm entirely new to data science and data science is like an ocean. So I felt like how would it be, how would the faculty teach me and everything. The faculty was really good. They went on about teaching things in a really specific manner. What problems would you face as a data scientist and how would you solve it? So they explained everything in that manner. The business knowledge which XLR imparts on a student, so that's something which is really valuable. One more great thing about XLR is that there are really good value added courses which are provided to me for free without any extra fee, like Tableau, cloud engineering and big data engineering and some really good courses which are in demand in the market, which what we learned along with the data science to be a good data scientist. So they gave me a jumbo pass where they will give you all the training videos, provide you with all the training videos and some new videos which were about to come as well. So those videos I used to refer whenever I get stuck in work. It is like the bond that never ends for us and XLR. So that's a really great thing. I would definitely, without a doubt, I would say that XLR would be the best institute.
Hello all, myself Amit Kulkarni, currently working as Associate Consultant in Bristlecone, a Mahindra group of companies. A good thing which I see in XLR solution is that the feedback loop which runs here. So the model in XLR is such where student is not getting a one-way traffic where he is just learning and going to home. Here after the student is getting enough data to learn, he is given assignments bi-weekly or sometimes weekly. These assignments are coming up with some deadlines, like the deadlines you meet up in a industry where you work in. Those assignments come with a few set of questions and sometimes with a problem statement also. After getting a check from assignment team and mock interview results, the placement team moves our resume to the respective companies via HR. I got a call from Bristlecone company where the interview was scheduled, and the good things which I can share is that the questions which were asked were quite similar to that of what mock interview was scheduled. So after clearing 2 rounds with Bristlecone, I got selected, and currently I am working there as associate data engineer specifically, and my day-to-day work depends from varying types of tasks, from data quality to data science levels.
Hello everyone, my name is Ashish Gupta and I am a BBA graduate. So after graduation I was thinking what to do, like how to upgrade my skills and unlock my potential. Then I got to know about XLR and here I had enrolled for data analytics and data science course. So after joining the course, the teachers here are very helpful and experienced. They helped me a lot in clearing my doubts and all the topics. So after completing the course, then the assignments, the mock interview, the placement team guided me in finding the best possible job. Here the real life projects and resume building sessions are really helpful. They helped me a lot in my interviews. Eventually from XLR I got placed at Triveni Enterprises where I work as a marketing strategy analyst. So hence I would highly suggest XLR to students who are looking for a future in data science and data analytics, and a big thumbs up for XLR.
Hey, I'm Rashmi Sarur. I joined for the Jan 2023 Selenium course wherein we were given knowledge of software testing from scratch. The course covered both manual and automation training and also included live projects that helped me enhance my knowledge. Apart from training, the institute also provides pre-placement sessions and mock interviews that help me understand my weak points. They also provide placement opportunities across the country, through which I got placed at PTest, Bangalore as test associate. I really thank the team for their efforts and their constant support. I highly recommend XLR for those who are looking for a professional course to kickstart their career. Thank you.
Hi, I am Shilpa. I am from Bangalore. I hold bachelor's degree in engineering. I had been working in non-IT field since 2013 to 2019, and later I did my course in software testing in XLR. During the training, I had a very good learning experience. The trainers were very good. We had a separate assignment sessions and we had a project sessions also. I got an opportunity to work on real-time projects, which is helping me in my career today also. I suggest everyone to go with XLR, as I am proud to say that I got an opportunity to work with, and even after having a gap of 3 years and switching my domain from non-IT to IT, I got lot of opportunities in terms of job. So thanks to XLR.
Hello, this is Sriram R. Shankar, and I've been the part of XLR for an year or so. I've previously completed my Python internship, which was core Python internship, and it was actually working on core Python, which also had project deployment in Python, which included data structures and very deep knowledge of Python. Since 6 months this year, I have been the part of full stack web development course at XLR. Interestingly, after 2.5 months or so since I started my course, I also got placed into a company called Central Technologies here in Bangalore, and I've been there for like 2 months for now. The full stack web development course had a lot of parts which were taught to the students, which included mainly front-end technologies, back-end technologies, and deployment using the databases. So the front-end technologies included popular technologies such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and the back-end included Java and Spring Boot. So the front-end technologies or back-end technologies both were taught right from the scratch. So even a student or a candidate who was from his or her non-technical background could easily was able to learn the technical stuff that was provided from XLR. Apart from this, there were online materials that were to be accessed anytime the student wanted, and we also were given live projects, assignments repeatedly. The tests were conducted from the institute, which gave me a lot of confidence in facing the interviews. Also, when I was selected from XLR, I was placed at a company called Central Technologies. I was actually posted to an ML intern post. Even later, even after getting placed, I was constantly in touch with the team, They asked me about how the work experience was, how I was feeling personally working at Central. So we always had that touch with the XLR team. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity that was provided by XLR and the placement. They have been my constant support that I always wanted. Thank you, XLR.
Hello everyone, this is Vidhi Vinoj Kurup, and currently I'm working as a data analyst in Gartner INC. And I would like to be very thankful to the XLR Solutions that they provided me such a good direction throughout my journey, throughout the course. And talking about my background, like I was completely from the academician's field. I was a research scholar and I used to deliver lectures in the senior colleges. So you can understand, like I made a career switch from academics to the corporate, and it was challenging, I can say, but you should overcome it, and that's all all about our life. So I can say, like, if talking about the course in XLR, it is bit it is not bit a lot of interactive sessions you can see every day. Whatever, if you are coming out of with the doubts, the mentors are always ready, the team is always ready to answer your questions or answer your doubts. So that's a very good part of the XLR Solutions, that they are ready for for answering your doubts. Talking about the course it went around 3 to 4 months of duration, and after that we were given up with the assignments. Those assignments were really helpful because it it covered almost all the topics involved in all the sessions, like including Excel, MySQL, Power BI, Tableau. So this assignment helped us to skill up more about this all data analysis. After that, we were given up into the live projects where, like, we were asked, like me myself, I have done the 2 projects with XLR Solutions, and those projects were really helpful in my career because it gave the real time scenario, like how the work goes on in the real time business world. So I would really like to thanks once again to the XLR Solutions for providing such a good guidance for me. And I would like to give a message to everyone, like nothing is impossible in this world. If I can do it, I can switch my career from academic field to the data analyst field. Why can't you all? It's everything matters, like your perseverance, your patience, your hard work, and everything pays off. I can say everything pays off, and XLR were the best mentor for me when I'm talking about my career. And I'd like to thank you all and all the very best for your career. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am M. Venkata Yashwant Krishna. At present, I am working in 98th percentile company as a trainee developer, and I have got this job through the drive which is conducted in XLR. So I strongly feel that XLR is the best platform to secure any job in software industry, because I have done Selenium testing course under XLR, and it helped me to improve my technical skills in testing and also in developing. Weekly they will conduct like communication skills like group discussion, etc. So through that I improved my both technical skills and communication skills, so it helped me a lot in securing job. So I prefer anyone who wants to get a job in software industry, so you may join in XLR.
Hello, my name is Vishmita Matham. I am a BTech graduate student from Siddhartha Institute of Engineering and Technology in Hyderabad. I have taken my Java full stack development course through XLR. So, talking about XLR, it is a really great platform to all the students out there, to the students who are trying to build their skills, to the students who are trying to build their career in software field. It is a really great option. Now, talking about my personal experience, I really enjoyed taking this course in XLR. Coming to the faculty members, they are really experienced and very well taught to all the students. And talking about my personal experience, as I said before, I am placed through XLR and I'm really happy that I have got a job through XLR. And getting a high package job was really a tough time right now because of the recession, but because of this platform I am really happy for myself. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. That was my personal experience. Thank you, XLR.
Hi everyone, good evening. Am I audible to all? Okay, thank you. So, welcome back. So, it is a second day of workshop, right? So, on the first day, we have understood the fundamentals of cybersecurity. So, in today's workshop, what exactly we are going to learn is we'll understand about the building blocks, and along with that, we'll also see the practicals on the confidentiality, integrity, and availability that is going to fall under the category of the cryptography. Okay, so we'll, along with that, along with the theory, we'll also understand the practical interest. So it is going to be much interesting. I want you all to be actively participate in the practicals, and you can update me, you can take a screenshot, and you can share it in the chat box as well. Okay, so that it would be more uh, attentive, and then it would be, the interaction would be much more interesting. Okay, so moving forward here, coming to the security building blocks. Okay, so there are few security building blocks which we are going to understand right now. What are those building blocks? Authentication, authorization, auditing, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So in the last class, we have in detail understood about the CIA, that is confidentiality, integrity, and availability, right? So now in today's section, we would be understanding about the authentication, authorization, and auditing. Okay. So any idea about the authentications? It's all coming under the category of the CIA itself. But still, we need to have a proper understanding what is actually authentication is all about. So any idea? Authentication is nothing but this is used to uniquely identify the clients of your system, whether they are human or other services. Okay, authentication deals with identity. When you log into your website, it knows who you are. So, yes, notices identifying, correct. Yes. So, now before you enter into the classroom, that you need a Zoom link, right? Not everybody in your classroom are able to, not everybody from your college would be able to attend this workshop, right? So few have been selected, few batches have been selected to attend this workshop. So how you have been entering into this classroom? By providing the username and the that is meeting ID and the password, right? Only if you provide the meeting ID and the password, or you would be using the specific links, Zoom link, only then you are allowed to be part of this workshop, right? So that is going to identify when you are attending and looking into the webinar. So what happens is you are being identified as yes, you have enrolled for this workshop or webinar course. So that is going to be somewhere it is like an identity, right? So to give a better example, everybody have an ID card, right? If you enter into a college, you wear your ID card. That is going to be an identity for you that yes, this person or this students belongs to this college. And we also have a ID proofs that identify, yes, I belong to this country. Similarly, authentication is also something like when you log into any of the website. Okay, so if you're using any of the application banking applications you're using, okay, so you're using some of the banks like HDFC or whatever the banks you're using. Now, what happens is when you try to log in. So, how do you log in? By providing the credentials you try to log in. So, you give a fingerprint or you give a password when you try to log in, that application is going to identify you as a user. What user? Authorized user. Okay, that is what is authentication is all about. So telling to make sure who have logged in into the system. So it just making sure or you can tell us whether, for example, you have logged into an application or systems or computers. So the computer or the system wants to know who you are. Who are you? Okay. So again, I'm telling authentication is like a question mark, like who are you? Okay. Identifying the user. Coming here with the authorization. Authorization is nothing but for an already authenticated client, what resources can she or he can access? Whether the user have permission to access the file. Correct, exactly. Whether not everybody from the classroom would be able to unmute yourself and would be able to speak or would be able to share your screen, because each and every role have some access being provided to all. Same in the classroom, not I would not be able to speak until and unless an access is being provided to me. Similarly, you would not be able to unmute yourself or share your screen until and unless I give an access to you. So each and every role need to have a specific access or specific actions that need to be performed. That is what is authorization is all about. So authorization is what can you do when you have an access? What can you perform? Is it authorization? So for already authenticated client is already a user. You have logged into your application by providing the username and the password. Okay. So it is going to tell whether you are able to edit the data. Are you having that access to edit the data or to transfer the data or to receive the data? Okay. That is what an authorization is. So you are working in an organizations. Okay. The different cabins are being there. The different labs would be there. Okay. Now, you will not be able to attain all the floors or all the buildings in the company. There might be different buildings would be there, right? So they would be naming with different buildings. No, you would not be able to attain or you would not be able to log into any specific cabin, because it is been restricted. Only the authorized user would be allowed to get into the cabin or get into the lab. Okay. And if you see, if you're attending the labs, if you have a lab example I'm telling, not the mechanical student would not come into your lab and enter or listen to or get involved in your classroom, because every user have their specific access that need to be performed. Can you repeat all the three? Sure. Which three you're talking about? Security building blocks. Okay, I would repeat again. Okay, so security building blocks. These are the main blocks where we are going to focus on cybersecurity. What are those? Authentication, authorization, auditing, confidentiality, integrity, availability. Okay. So authentication, authorization, and auditing, we are going to understand the theory. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability will go ahead and understand the practical on that, because in the last section we have understood the theory on confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay. Authentication is basically, it's going to identify like who exactly you are, or who are you is an authentication is all about. Now it is going to identify a user. How it is going to identify the user? By the data whatever a user is being provided, based on the credentials whatever a user have provided. Might be the credentials can be anything like a login, like you have created a login page, or you have a Google Pay or something, right? So everybody user applications. Now what you do, you provide your passwords. When you provide the password, you as being identified as a user or the account holder. Okay, that is what is authentication is all about. It is going to deal with identity. When you log into a website, it knows who you are. Okay. And coming to the authorization is based on the authentication, based on the credential, you have logged in successfully, but what access you have been provided, what access that is being provided to you based on your role. That is what is authorization. What can you do? You have logged in it perfectly, or you have logged in successfully, but after logging, what can you do? There might be some bunch of services or bunch of the protocols or which would be running on the backend. Okay, so it is going to represent what a user should be performed. For example, can a user edit the data or transferring the data? That is what is authorization is all about. For an already authenticated client, what resources can she or he access? In the better example, what action she can perform. Okay. Now coming to auditing. Auditing is nothing but any other examples you can give on auditing. You would have come across auditing what? No idea? Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12. What is that? Okay. So auditing is nothing but proof, okay, whether this activity is performed by this user or not. So if you go into an ATM, okay, and if you want to know the transaction happened this month or last month, you have a history, okay, you have a bank statement which is going to provide a detailed representations of your account, like whatever the transaction happened, when it happened, how it happened, okay, which what is the UPI ID, or what is the time, okay. These are the information which will be provided in the bank statement. Why it has been provided? Just to prove whether that action is performed or not. So auditing and logging is needed for non-repudiation, where a customer or a service cannot deny performing some actions. Okay, so did they actually did it? So if they did or not did, okay, you are a user. If you have a CCTV camera, that is a proof, right? It is going to make a track, or it is going to track whatever the activity happening in the classroom. So now, if you have done some mistakes or somebody broke something in your classroom, what happens? That camera is a proof which I can go ahead and I can look over there and get to know who exactly have done the mistakes or whatever it is. Okay. Did the user actually do that is an auditing. Understood till here, everybody? Okay, great. And coming here with the confidentiality, again, I would just quickly go ahead and give an overview on that. Confidentiality, is the data safe? Okay, is the data uh, whatever we are trying to share from one user to another user, or one client to another client, or from employees from one employee to another employee, are the data are safe? Okay, so confidentiality, this refers into keeping up the data private such that the unauthorized users cannot read or access it. Unauthorized, a bad actor cannot read or access the data, whether this data is stored somewhere or in transit. So that means, let us have an understanding. So I have a Kali Linux. So if you have Kali Linux with you, you can just open it. Okay, if you don't have, no problem. I'll share you some online tools where we can have a look into it. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead quickly and try to create one example on keeping our data secure. So I'll use Zoom in 1 minute. Here control plus plus doesn't work for me. Okay, so what I'll do is I would try to create one data using an echo command. Okay, so I'll use an echo command, and I would try to write welcome to hacking, and I would store it inside a file called security.txt file. What I'm doing, I am creating a file. This is my file. What is the file name? Security.txt is my file name. And that security.txt file name has a content of welcome to hacking is a content which is going to store. Using an echo command, I'm going to do. So I'll give an enter option. Okay. Now let me try to read the data, whatever is available in the file called security.txt file. So I'm going to read with the help of a cat command, which help you in reading of the data or displaying the data present inside a specific file name. The file name is security.txt is a file name which I have created. Let me give an enter option. This is the data. The data is written normally in the plain text. So before that, we need to also understand about the symmetric and asymmetric encryptions. Yeah. Yes. Okay, here you go with the symmetric and asymmetric encryptions. So confidentially, we are currently discussing on the confidentiality. What is that? To secure the data. How are we going to secure the data? There is a way where we would be understanding first about the encryption technique. So in the last section, we have understood about the encryption. What is encryption again? For securing the data, we would be using encryption technique. So this would be falling under the category of cryptography. Cryptography is how are we going to securely store the data? Might be digital network. Okay. So encrypt and decrypt. So if you have a look in the encryption part, so what do? We have a data. This is your data. So I have a better slide for that. I'll explain from here itself. See here, a sender, if you see this diagram, this is a diagram which I'm going to explain right now. It's nothing but hiding or keeping. We're not hiding it, okay? We are just protecting the data by providing some techniques. Okay. So if you see here, you go with the sender, and here is a receiver. Sender is sending a plain text, okay, to the receiver. So to make it secure is protecting your data. I would use an encrypt and decrypt technique. So in encryption, what happens is a plain text. Plain text is a readable content, okay, readable format, whatever the plain text, that would be converted into a cipher text. If you see here, I am going to create a hello or welcome. So I want to send this data. This is a normal data, okay? Might be this is A user. And similarly, I have a B user. B user. And you want to send this data to a B user. So what I'll do, I'll try to encrypt the data. If you try to do an encryption, what happens is this data would be written something like this. That is dot slash something like this. 63 also will not be there. Something like this. Okay. So this plain text, this is a plain text. The data is written in plain text. Plain text is readable format. And this plain text is converted into cipher text. Cipher text is going to be, you can tell, not readable format. Okay. Not in the readable format. This document is shared to the user B. When a user B is receiving the document, he or she would not be able to read this. So what she need to do? She need to again decrypt the data. Okay, this would be coming under encryption. Okay, now decrypting. Decrypting is you would be using decrypt. Okay, so to encrypt the data, I would be using some techniques, algorithms. Okay, so some algorithms I would be using, some passwords I would be using to encrypt the data. Similarly, to decrypt the data, I would be using the key. Okay, there is something known as key. Key is which is used for encrypting and decrypting. Okay, there are two different encryption techniques are being used in cryptography. What are those encryption techniques? We have symmetric encryption. In symmetric encryption, what I'll do, I'll use the same key to encrypt the data and same key to decrypt the data. Okay, I repeat again. To encrypt the data, I would be using a key techniques. Same technique I would be using to decrypt the data. Okay, let us see how to encrypt and decrypt the data. And we have different types of algorithms are being used. A mostly used algorithm is the AES algorithms. And it also have a size, that is key sizes. Key size 128 byte, 192 byte, 256 byte are the key size. Cipher modes are there. How are you going to convert the data? Are you independently converting the data? Are you using an XOR gate to convert the data? Or you using a random numbers to convert the data? Those are the cipher modes. And then the block size. Block size is based on the key size. You would be having a block size of the data. So till here, everybody understood? What are we doing? Again here. Encryption turns the data into a series of unreadable characters that aren't of a fixed length. It does not have any fixed length when you try to encrypt the data. So the key difference between encryption, I'll come to this encryption method. Two types of encryption algorithms are being used. One is symmetric and asymmetric. In symmetric encryption, what happens? An algorithm is going to deal with one secret key, which is used to both encrypt and decrypt the informations. Symmetric is a bit lengthier process. I'll tell you how to do it, but before that, we'll have a look into the symmetric method. Okay, shall we move forward? Okay. So I am using currently the Kali Linux. I would also share you all online tool. So you can also, along with that, you can also work with it. Okay. First, I'll start working in the Kali Linux, then you can go for. Okay. So that is what I have created. I have created one file. You can upload a file or you can use any files also. That also perfectly fine. This file has a content of welcome to hacking. This data, how am I going to encrypt the data? So we'll see how to encrypt the data. So I would be using an OpenSSL command which help you in securing of the data. Can you please tell how two keys are associated with same data for encryption? We will do a practical and we'll show you how it has been associated. Okay. I'll show you the practical on that. So here what I'll do is I'll be using an OpenSSL. Yes. I can do it normally. I'll show you it. So I'll use an OpenSSL command which help you in encrypting of the data. This is one of the command line, command tool you can tell where we can go ahead and use the algorithms and try to encrypt the data. Now I would use ENC. What does ENC stands for? ENC stands for encrypting the data. So what is, how are you trying to encrypt the data? There are various different algorithms are being used. So I would be using AES algorithm, Advanced Encryption Standard. Okay. And what type of key size? What is the key size you're going to give? It has 128, 256. Okay. And then 64-bit you have. So I'll be using 256 as a key size. And then what type of cipher mode you're using? I'm using a CBC as a cipher mode. Okay. And along with that, if you want to provide a password, so I would go ahead and try to provide the pass LG, okay, which means you're trying to provide a password. What is the password I'm going to give? Password is to might be a key. Okay, here I'm using a pass as key, and then I would be storing it. This data I would be storing it where is the input coming from? The input is coming from a file called security.txt, and the encrypted data where you're going to store it might be output security dot out dot txt, give an enter option. So okay, be better. Okay, you can use dot out dot txt, the input coming from password. I'm going to provide the password. I would create a password of key, enter, verifying again the password key, enter. Here you see what I have done here is, here the better option is we would be using this derivation function. We have PBKDF2, which stands for password based key derivation function 2. So this is used for primarily for deriving the cryptographic keys from password or any phrase you want to use, you would be using. I repeat again, we would be using an open SSL command line and we would be encrypting the data. What is the data you're trying to encrypt? The input is coming from a file called security.txt file. That data you're trying to encrypt it with the help of an algorithm called AES, Advanced Encryption Standard, and 256-bit CVC. And then the technique. Here I'm using a password-based key derivation function 2, which help you in providing up the password with the help of -p. And that data, the encrypted data, I'm going to store it in the output file called security.out.txt file. Okay, so we are getting a salt value, we are getting a key value, and we are getting I4 values. Okay, till here everybody understood? Or I4, IV. What does pass key indicates? We are trying to give a password. Okay, here pass help you in providing up the password and what type of password. Here I have split it out in the sense here I am giving a password in the next line, but here in the previous example, if you see, I have given the password defined in the same line by using a hyphen pass help you to provide a password. What is the password? Key is the password I have given. Okay, so it is giving me an option telling to use the derivation method. That would be better option. So when I'm using a derivation method, what happens? Then in the next line, it would be asking for the password, and again for the verification, we would be providing up the passwords. Okay. Here we have a salt value, a key value. This is a key. Okay. This is the key right now. We have generated a key right now. This key we would be using and try to decrypt the file. Okay. You can use this key and try to decrypt the file, or you can use a better one more method, that is to decrypting the file. You can use -d. Or I can also give a file. Okay, let me try to read this one. Let me go ahead. Input is coming from the file called sample. 1 minute, I'll just execute it. Security dot out dot txt. I will not give any output. Okay. Password is key. Okay, let me try to read the file. Okay, let me try to read the file. What is the file name here? We have used security.txt. When you read the security.txt, I am able to see an output as welcome to file. Same way, I would use security.out.txt file. This is an output file, right? This file, I would try to read it out. Cat command security dot out dot txt file. Now you see this is the value. Now you tried to encrypt this data with the help of a salt value. See, this welcome to hacking only is been printed this way. Okay. Now, what is salt value? Let us try to understand about the salt value also. So here is a salt added. When what a salt is, will you share this PDF? Yeah, I'll share this PDF. End of this workshop, I'll share it. Okay. For example, we are using a password as Apple. So I was using a password as key to make it strong. Okay, key is anybody can easily crack it, right? Break it. But to provide a salt value to it, salt value is some random numbers or some random values is going to be added to the your password along with the hash value. There's something called hashing. Hashing is nothing but, so you have written this value. So we have this value. I'm trying to send this file to you with the help of encryption. Okay, when I'm trying to decrypt it, how would I make sure this data is not being modified by an attacker? That is what is integrity is all about. Okay, that is what is integrity is all about. So here we are using a password and salt is added, some random value is being added along with the random value. What is random value? YRZD is a random value. You would not be knowing what is a random value, it has been updated. Along with the random value, a hashing algorithm also been implemented, and this apple is being given with a password plus salt, so that it would be difficult for somebody to crack or break this password and get into your document. Getting the point here? So to provide this hash value, how do we provide a hashing? Okay, how are we going to creating hashing values? I'll try to share you a link in the chat box. So everybody quickly just open it up. We'll try to understand about hashing. Okay, done. Again, coming here with the hashing. See here, integrity. Hashing is integrity. Can the data be modified? This refers to whether the data stored in your device or in transit. Transit is like when you're transferring on the internet, on the network, is the data safe from unauthorized access, either unintentionally or maliciously? For that, we would be using hashing. Hashing is a type of an algorithm which takes any size of data and convert it to a fixed length of data. Okay. So it would be easier, it should be easy to generate a hash of a message, but you cannot generate the original message from the hash value. So modifying the message, modifying the entire hash, and a different message have a different hashes. So there are different algorithms are being used: MD5, SHA-1, SHA-2, SHA-3. SHA-1, SHA-2, SHA-3 comes under the family of SHA family. That means it's more advanced way of providing an encryptions, okay, not hashing method. So if you see here, I have shared you all one hash calculator. So what we are going to do is, I would provide a data called welcome all. Welcome all is a data. So I'm using what type of method you're using? I would use MD5. Okay, I would use an MD5 method, hashing an info, and I'll try to hash this. I would try to hash this value. So this hashing method, okay, this hashing value I would be transferring to you. When I do this, what happens is, along with that message, okay, I would generate a hash salt value, right? This salt value also going to contain a hashing into it. So this hashing, when what I'll do is, whether this welcome contains this hashing or not, I would go ahead and cross verify with this hash value. I hope I'm not confusing all. I'm sending some message to you to make sure that it is coming from a legal user, or before getting into legal user, to make sure that data which I have transferred is not modified by somebody. How would you get to know? By providing a hash value. When I am giving a hash value to you, you cannot decrypt it. There is no method of regenerating to a normal time. If once you have made when you have converted your plain text to hash value, it cannot go back to hash value. Okay, it cannot. It is one way only. It is one dimensional. So I'll provide this hash value to it. If this hash value is matching, that means there is no modification is being done. If it is not matching, so how, if I do a small, like if I give a space, okay, I'm just going to give a space and I'm going to give a hash this. Currently, you check, it is starting with 8619, 1D something. Again, if I hash this, the entire hash value is going to get updated. Just by giving a space or dot. If any word or any letter get changed, okay, the entire hash value is going to be updated. Understood? This is the hashing method. So this hashing is going to use to make sure that there's no modification has been done. And there are different methods have been used. If you're using SHA-1 and try to encrypt this method, so the length of your value, length of the fixed value or length of the hash value is going to be longer in size. Okay, SHA-256 if I use, the size of your data is going to be 16 bit. So if you count it, it will be 256 bit. Okay, coming here again with your data. With the one more online tool I have it. But also I'll try to share it to you. This is coming under the symmetric encryption. Share this link to you all in the chat box so you can simultaneously do along with me. Here what I'll do, I'll enter a plain text to encrypt. Plain text is welcome. Welcome is a plain text. What type of method? Cipher mode you're using, CBC. Cipher blockchaining requires initialize. So it has a initialization vector, IV, to make each message unique. To make a unique content, you will be using CBC and the bit. 256, 255, you get a bit, and the initialization vector. That is, you would be generating some initialization vector and give random numbers and enter the secret key. So secret key also I'll give some random numbers, and when I give encrypt, so it is telling as a key size is 128, the the secret key should contain 16 characters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It has more. and I try to convert it. So here, the initializing vector also should be having a 16 vector. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now I'll try to encrypt this data. It's taking longer time to encrypt. Okay, let it encrypt it. In the meantime, I'll go to Kali Linux and let me try to decrypt the data using the Kali Linux. Okay, what I'll do is same thing. I'm using the AES. Currently, I will not use ENC. I'm not encrypting the data. I'm going to decrypt the data. Where is the input coming from? The input coming from a file called security.out.txt file. And where exactly you're storing that decrypting file? I would store it I would store it inside a file called security.in.txt file. Let me give enter option. Give a password. See, here I need to provide the key. Whatever the password you're using, I'll use a key. And now let me go ahead and try to read the file. Now currently we are trying to decrypt, right? So this decrypted data is being stored inside a file called, inside the output file called security.in.txt. Let me try to read the file, security out instead of out. I'll try to write it as in.txt. See, welcome to hack. Okay. How are we decrypting? Again, I'll tell you, I would be using an OpenSSL command. And where exactly an encrypted file is being stored? The encrypted file is stored inside a file. The file name is security.out.txt. That file, what am I doing? The input, I'm trying to decrypt the file using same technique. Okay, password derivation, password based key derivation function 2. I would be decrypting the file and storing that decrypted data to a output file called security.in.txt. Now, when I decrypt it, I need to provide the password because I'm using a password based derivation function, right? So that password, if I give, and when I do a cat command, what is that cat? It helps you in displaying the data, then you'll be able to see the original data back again. The same thing here with the online tool also, we would look into it. See, this is a hashing, right? I think I need to reload it again. Hello. CBC, I'll give 128 is the minimum. Okay. Okay, so that same data is being encrypted over here. I have provided an IV initialization vector. I have provided a secret key. Okay, this is the secret key I have provided here. But here on the practical, when I was working on the Kali Linux, I did not create a generate a secret key because I was using the salt value. I was using password derivation method to that would be helping me to add the secret key. That secret key only you had a here you were looking into it. Here you see this is a secret key. Okay. You can also use the secret key. You can also use this IV value to decrypt the data. So let us try to do this way. So I'll use a salt value. No, I would use an IV value. Here, enter the text to decrypt. What is the text we have? Again, I have to go here. This is the text we have, right? I'll try to copy this. Hopefully, it get copied. Yes, this is the value base CBC 128 initialization key. What is the initialization key we have it? If one space also if we give now, then it would be a shift. So we have to give the exactly same copy selection, move back to the code, and I would paste it here. Is it this initialization? No, that was a key. It was a key, not a initialization vector. Then I'll copy the IV value. I click copy selection and come back to the, and here I'll just paste it. As I told you, if there is any spaces also included, then it would give you an error. Here, let me give a try on this data. Copy this, paste it over here, and try to use the same values and try to decrypt it. Okay, you'll get back the content. You'll get back the content. So what are we doing? We are using the same key for encrypting also, the same key to decrypt also. Same thing again, I'm trying to use it for encryption and decryption. Okay, encrypt and decrypt. So this is used in the symmetric encryption. Understood all? You can also upload, you can also upload a document. If you're using Kali Linux, instead of a file, you can use image. Okay, you can go ahead and add an image and see how to encrypt that image. If somebody want to view it only by providing the passwords or providing the encryption techniques or decryption techniques, only then they would be able to see the image. You can take this as an assignment and you can work on it. Okay, so if you have any doubts until now, please update me in the chat box. So in the upcoming workshop, we would have a look into, we will try to understand about different roles. Okay, so most of you were asking about the roles, like what exactly in the cybersecurity domains and the roles on each domains, what exactly they do, how they perform. Those things we'll try to understand. Along with that, we'll also see uh, using a verb suite, how are we going to figure it out, or how are we going to modify the content between the client and the server. If you want to intercept any data which you're trying to transfer, so we have a client in the server. In the client, we will be sending a request, right? If you want to intercept that request and modify it, how do we do it? With the help of worksheet, we'll try to understand in the coming workshop. Yes, OH top 10, I would take this on 4th or 5th day of workshop. I'll try to explain you about the OH top 10, which is very interesting. And yeah, if you want to get into a VAPT, if you want to do ethical hackings, okay, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, if you want to do, then it is very much required to know about the OS top 10 vulnerabilities. Okay then, so I'll stop sharing. If you have any doubts, you can let me know in the chat box. Can I get a feedback from you all? Everybody are able to understand? Is it interesting to you all? We have 1 more minute, so we'll quickly get a feedback and then we can wind it up. Okay. Okay, great then. Great. Good to hear. So there are many things we would be learning in the upcoming classes. Okay, we would also involve uh, practicals. I'll try to add practicals more. Okay. Okay then. So we can wind up the class for now. We'll meet in the next section. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you, Aishwarya.
Yeah.
Okay. So, thank you, students, for joining the session, and we'll meet on tomorrow. Okay.